Hey everybody, Lisa here with another edition of Always Looking Up, a vlog edition, The Marriage Files. Why would I want to be talking about marriage today? Marriage has really been in the news lately with famous people getting in the news and saying things like traditional marriage is dead. Famous celebrity long-time marriages breaking up. It's really been in the news a lot today. Plus, I've noticed several vlogs here on YouTube talking about marriage and their thoughts on marriage. One young gentleman in his 20s put it very ineloquently what marriage is. And of course he's never been married. He's just a young skull of mush, so I kind of thought about making this video and sending it to him. But I really would love to hear your thoughts about the institution of marriage today. I was raised in a very traditional Judeo-Christian home here in the United States with a lot of love, attention. Divorce was very unusual in my family. My family was very intact while I was growing up. Grandparents, aunts, uncles. Marriages in my family were very, very intact. And people worked together. They seemed like they loved each other. My parents, of course, loved each other for many, many years. So I get married at a young age, feeling like I've got a very good example sets in front of me. How to deal with marriage, what marriage is all about, and things like that. Well, the divorce rate in my country and in other countries is very high. Very, very high. Higher than when I was young and when I got married. The funny thing is, everybody has their opinions about marriage. What constitutes the breaking of a marriage vow, how much pain and tolerance they have while in a relationship with another person. And as an RN, I can tell you, everybody has a different tolerance for pain. Everybody has their point where they say uncle. Everybody. And the funny part is, even within a person, that point can change. So, my question to you is, what kind of things nullify or void a marriage vow? Sleeping with another person, physically harming another human, your spouse, neglecting your spouse, the list could go on and on. How about, there's part of these traditional wedding vows, this is to love, honor, and cherish in sickness and health. What if the person doesn't think they're sick? Or what if the person knows that they're sick and knows that there's a problem? There is something that can be done about the problem, but they don't want to get help, even though it would bring the marriage back to being a marriage. Is that breaking a vow? Because when I think of things like in sickness and in health, I think of somebody getting, a disease that they can't really do anything else. They can't do anything. They've been in a bad accident and they cannot do this or they cannot do that. But if you can do something about whatever is going on with your body, your mind, or whatever, and you don't do it, is that breaking your vow just as much as if you hop in bed with another person? Now, with all these things that you can do to break a vow, the Judeo-Christian heritage and the Bible talks about forgiveness. In me, I learned at an early age to be a forgiving person. I've had a lot of terrible things done to me in my lifetime by others, purposefully. And I have forgiven those people who have done those things to me. That wasn't a selfless thing that I did. That was something for me. That was good for my heart, for my soul, for me. But when do you stop? When do you stop and say, you know what? The rest of my life should not be this way. It should not be this way. Because it doesn't have to be this way. Your actions, you don't have to do the things that you're doing. And so when do you stop? The first thing I want to know is, what are the things that you think are breaking the marriage vow? That's the first question. Second question, when the marriage vow is broken, do you throw the vow out? Or do you say, are you willing to come to the table and to renegotiate? Because a vow is very similar to a treaty in my mind. It is between two entities. And both entities have said that they are going to do something. And they have promised that they are going to do something. Have they not? At the very least, renegotiation should take place. If there's forgiveness and no renegotiation, was the forgiveness in vain? If there's no negotiation, if there's not a renewal of the vows, or a renewal of that part of the vows to each other. It doesn't have to be in front of somebody. But it needs to be an understanding between the two parties, does it not? Also, what is your view of the traditional marriage? Should it change? Should it stay? Why do we need marriage? That's another question. I believe we do need marriage. After raising my kids, I believe we do need marriage. And so that's my opinion on that. In your response videos, in your comments, you can get as personal as you want to get. But you don't have to if you don't want to. You can, because your opinions are what I'm after. I wasn't going to go into detail about my own situation, about my own concerns, and my own things I'm having to wrestle with. But I would love to hear what you have to say. I have a lot of friends that are happily married. I have friends getting divorced. I have friends who have never been married. I have friends who want to get married someday. So I have the whole gamut of people in this situation. I have friends that are young, old, and, you know, there's going to be a lot of difference of opinion here, and that's okay. That's what makes YouTube special. But I really would love to hear from you. Anyway, this is Lisa here on YouTube, signing off until next time here on Always Looking Up.